of information, good news about David Raya, and not forgetting that despite the fact that we're going to be talking about David Raya, who still is extremely close, we also are going to be talking about a few more football players. We've got Mohamed Kudus to talk about, and we always talk about transfers and whatever is happening in the camp of the club Arsenal right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host Abu Kauzes. I'm definitely right about here to bring to you the latest trade as it comes in, and definitely let's see how things really will go. Let us see how things will run. But I think things should move on quite well for the club Arsenal, really, as we know that Arsenal is trying its level best to make sure that it can land a few more football players, and Arsenal's already signed a couple. Arsenal's already signed a couple of football players, including Declan Rice, who signed from the club Arsenal at a wonderful £105 million. And not forgetting that apart from him, apart from Declan Rice, there is Kai Havertz, who's already also signed for the club Arsenal, plus Urian Timber, who's also already signed for the club Arsenal. So Arsenal is trying its level best to make sure that it can get a few more football players in. And we're going to be talking about David Raya. There's a lot going on about David Raya, and also a lot still going on when we talk about Mohamed Kudus and his transfer to the club Arsenal. It was quite a good game, between Arsenal and the club Manchester City. A game that showed how good Arsenal has really become when it comes to transfers, with all the transfers that Arsenal has in that was all of them were definitely in. Kai Havertz and Urian Timber, plus yet another one, Declan Rice. And really, it was quite a wonderful one. It was a big one, wonderful and a great one. So let's hope things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as we definitely know that Arsenal already has 3 football players in, and still are looking for the fourth football player, and the 5th still is an option for the club Arsenal. Arsenal might be spending a lot more, despite the fact that it's already spent £208 million altogether across 3 football players, and at this time Arsenal still are saying that they're going to be getting yet more football players. So let's hope really things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal. But do not forget that Gabriel Jesus got or obtained an injury, and that could trigger another striker to move to the club Arsenal. Arsenal could be looking for yet another striker. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the football player David Raya. David Raya will be remembered that is a Brentford goalkeeper, and the club Arsenal, it's not the first time he's been linked to the club Arsenal. Arsenal tried his level best to make sure that he can be signed in 2020, but he was not signed due to a couple of reasons. They could not meet the expectations of Brentford, and by that time Brentford was in the EFL Championship and was trying to get to the Premier League. But already the Arsenal management had already seen a lot of positive results in the football goalkeeper, and when he secured their move to he secured this move to the football club to the Premier League. At this moment in time, he says he's not got quite much to do with Brentford, and he's already agreed a move to the club Arsenal, and also Arsenal has agreed a deal that is worth £30 million. And let's hope things. For some reason, I thought it was I thought Brighton would really get to 40 million pound, because Brentford wanted quite a lot of money off him for the football player, wanted £40 million, and we thought the club could really take it quite hard. We thought Brentford would definitely stick to the £40 million, because a number of clubs' bids were rejected, including Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham. All of these clubs were definitely rejected by the club, Brentford. But the football players' wish was to play for Arsenal, as Arsenal has always wanted to sign the football player, and they have always talked. Arsenal has always talked to the football player, to the goalkeeper, Brentford goalkeeper, David Raya. And at this moment in time, I can comfortably tell you that Arsenal has secured the David Raya deal. There is nothing that's going to stop the football goalkeeper from getting his place at the club Arsenal. As we definitely know, things have changed over time, and how Arsenal is approaching transfers leaves quite a lot of people wondering what the next football player could be. Because when we talk about Mohamed Kudus and talk about David Raya, both of these two football players really, they've got already potential, or already there are football players in the positions that they play, and all of the football players that are in those positions are solid. I mean, we're talking about Bukayo Saka. I don't see Mikel Arteta substituting. Okay, he can substitute. I don't see Bukayo Saka sitting down for the football player Mohamed Kudus. But the reason as to why this is like this is to create big competition amongst the football players, create big competition amongst the goalkeeper, between the goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, who's very nice, very good goalkeeper. I performed quite well, performed brilliantly when he was Arsenal, Man City. Definitely saw how good he was, saving a couple of penalties, saving a number of shots in the game, and definitely is a brilliant one. And how he played, how he kept the goals safe for the club Arsenal the last season was quite brilliant. So let's hope that things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as Arsenal is trying its level best to make sure that they can sign yet another wonderful talent. And this deal is definitely in its final stages, and we could most likely be seeing David Raya signing for the club Arsenal, as it won't take us by surprise. We already know that David Raya has got big interest in the club Arsenal. Arsenal has already agreed to pay £30 million for David Raya, despite the fact that it was £40 million and the number of bids rejected. Arsenal's bid is accepted, and Arsenal has also accepted £30 million to be paid for the football player David Raya. So it's quite great. And we are going to be seeing him playing for the club Arsenal at the coming season. And what we definitely know at this point in time is that he's going to come before the Premier League starts. And the Premier League just has, ladies and gentlemen, the Premier League is just left with 3 days. 3 days. 1, 2, 3 days until the Premier League starts. That definitely shows you that it's going to come. It could be announced today. It could be announced any minute from now. It could be announced tomorrow or the day after. But it's not going more than that. There is no chance, absolutely. There's no chance whatsoever that he's gonna stay at Brentford for the next 4 days. Within the coming 3 days, it will be a deal that is done, sealed, and confirmed, plus delivered for the club Arsenal. It's gonna be a here we go, as Fabrizio Romano always says. Anyway, let's hope really things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as Arsenal really is trying its level best to make sure that they can get a few more signings, and really they were like Bukayo Saka. competition is good as long as it is healthy. So if the football player, Mohamed Kudus, is a very versatile football player, he could also play alongside Bukayo Saka if he's not competing with him, because he can be a striker, he can be a central midfielder. He's played that role a couple of times, though that's not his expertise. But also is what he understands quite most is being an attacking midfielder, right-sided attacking midfielder. So the final third is going to be fully packed with very good strikers, very good wingers, very good attacking midfielders. So it's going to be an amazing place. Arsenal is going to be an amazing place, and really, I think it's going to be quite brilliant. It's going to bring about a difference in how Arsenal has been playing, because you can definitely see that despite the fact that Arsenal ended up in the second position, it would have become comfortable and say, let's remain with these football players we've got, then we improve them. But that's not the fact. Arsenal is saying we need better football players so that we can comfortably compete for the Premier League title, and that is what the club Arsenal is doing. Let us know what you definitely think in the comment section, and please do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. As I tell you, my name is Abu Kaltam, as I'm right about here to bring to you the latest trade as it comes in, as we talk sport and as we talk everything Arsenal related right about here at the Arsenal chapter, with me, your very host, Abu Carls, David Raya being the center of focus today. We are talking about a wonderful superstar, wonderful goalkeeper, David Raya, Brentford goalkeeper, who helped Brentford really to secure a place in the Premier League and also compete favorably in the Premier League so that they do not go back into the EFL Championship. And Brentford played quite well and managed to even stay away near any place near the relegation zone. So him being a fast goalkeeper coming to the club Arsenal, really he's going to have to endure a little bit with Aaron Ramsdale, and but also I think the fact that Arsenal has quite a big number of games to play. We definitely know that since Arsenal has a big number of games to play, then they can share these games, a number of leagues to play. They can share these leagues amongst two goalkeepers, with the fact that Matt Turner has already agreed a move, and also a medical has been done with Nottingham Forest. That seals 100% seals the deal for the club Chelsea. That is a deal that is Chelsea, Arsenal. That seals the deal for the club Arsenal, because the fact that Matt Turner has already left the club Arsenal, that shows you that 100% a new football goalkeeper is going to be part of the club Arsenal. Let us know what you think about David Raya and his move to the club Arsenal. As I can see in the comment section, I can see a number of people in the comment section. I can see Michael saying, are we signing Kudus? Yes, there's that possibility. Okay, Kudus will help us, so we should make sure we get him. That is Pan. And David Sozi, is quite a regular on this channel. Thank you for being part. Thanks for your updates in that time. We are watching from Dubai. We love you so much, brother. Thank you, my brother David Sozi. Then also Soke Frank saying, how is Raya? And how is Raya to Arsenal, man? Raya is definitely coming to Arsenal 100%. I can confirm to you that David Raya is going to be an Arsenal football player. It's just a matter of time, just a matter of minutes, seconds, in days, minutes, seconds, no longer a week. Not any chance will he be away from the club Arsenal for a week. And I can see Augustine Okalo saying, please, Arsenal signing Mohamed Kudus. Okay, Anyway, let's get the party rolling. Let's get the party rolling. Really, some people were asking me about Balogun and his what's happening with Balogun. Balogun, Arsenal put a price tag on Balogun, no £50 million, no Balogun, and nobody has matched the £50 million price tag that was placed on Balogun, on Florin Balogun. So the club Arsenal is very comfortable with the football player Balogun, and if nobody is taking him, then he can stay. And also Thomas Partey, still a lot of pressure on football player Thomas Partey from Saudi Arabia clubs, and also Juventus. Juventus also wants him, but Thomas Partey really is not into a move away from the club, and neither is Arsenal planning to sell the football player. Anyway, again, let's talk again about there is a need. There is big need for signing a striker, and a striker we are talking about there is a possibility that Arsenal is going to be heading on for a big striker. There is a big chance that Arsenal is going to sign a big striker, because we know that Gabriel Jesus is injured, and the fact that last season Gabriel Jesus again got injured and missed out on 15 games, that definitely cost the club quite a lot, because Arsenal was counting on him. And 15 games to be missed by a key football player like Gabriel Jesus really is so bad. It affects the results on the table. And at this moment in time, Arsenal is now on the hunt for a striker. And as we know that Victor Osimhen was linked to the club Arsenal a bit, but I would like to think that Victor Osimhen is quite expensive, because 150 million pound is what million euros, 150 million euros is what you can pay for the football player. Victor Osimhen. He's available in the transfer markets really, but I think he's quite expensive, and that's quite understandable. His price is quite big. Anyway, let's hope really things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as Arsenal is looking for a top striker, big striker for the club Arsenal. And let's see, we can also talk a little bit about Bitelo, talk a little bit if there is a chance for the club Arsenal to sign the football player Moises Caicedo, as he was linked to the club Arsenal. So the reality about Moises Caicedo is, at this moment in time, Moises Caicedo is not training and also not taking part in any Brighton and Hove games, because of him wanting to make a move away from the club Brighton and Hove. We'll remember that the superstar, the football player Moises Caicedo, was heavily linked to the club Arsenal, and Arsenal wanted to sign him the last January transfer. Actually, in the January transfer window, Arsenal was very confident that they would sign him. But reality is, Arsenal did not manage to sign him after him as a football player wanting to play for the club Arsenal. But Brighton and Hove said he's too good to leave the club, because the club really wanted him at that moment in time. But they promised him, last season, they promised him that if any club comes up with a bid that is worth £70 million, then that club will definitely be taking him. And Arsenal has been trying to observe this transfer, but reality is that despite the fact that Arsenal wants the superstar, Arsenal is not the number one contender, with the club Chelsea really putting in a couple of bids, a £60 million bid, £70 million bid, £80 million bid, and all of these bids being rejected, with the football club Brighton and Hove sitting down comfortably, putting a price tag of 100 million pounds for the football player Moises Caicedo. That's quite a bit complicated for the football club Chelsea. Chelsea put in 3 bids, and all of them were definitely rejected by Brighton and Hove. And Arsenal has been observing all this quite well and seeing how they can approach this transfer. But at this moment in time, things have turned tables have turned, because Arsenal is no longer the favorites when we talk about the Moises Caicedo transfer, with the football star really looking forward to making a move away from Brighton and Hove. I think the club Arsenal has a very limited number of chances, very limited. The percentage is quite low, so that he's gonna end up at the club Arsenal, because Chelsea is very, very, very much into this transfer, with all that amount of bids that has been rejected, and Chelsea is not showing any signs of slowing down when it comes to the Moises Caicedo transfer. But we know how transfers really be. Anything can happen. And the fact that Moises Caicedo is still on the transfer market, we definitely know that this could definitely be something positive for the club Arsenal, because looking at how Arsenal has come out and approached different transfers, we definitely know that this could not be in any way different, because even when a number of people thought it's going to be a bit complicated, a lot of people thought it's going to be complicated to get Declan Rice, but Arsenal had a way out and managed to pay that £105 million, and same thing possibly could happen with the football player, the Brighton and Hove football player Moises Caicedo. Let's hope really things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as Chelsea, as I told you before, the Chelsea is leading in this transfer. I do not want to give you a false hope that Arsenal, I know it's quite good to talk and give you a bit of hope and tell you that Arsenal is leading in this transfer, but the reality is Arsenal is not leading in this transfer. But there is a slight chance, there is a small possibility that the club Arsenal can definitely sign the football star, and let's hope really things will move on and keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as we definitely know that Arsenal is looking at getting yet another football star. Let us know what you definitely think in the comments section about Moises Caicedo, and whether you think Arsenal should go on and get the football star Moises Caicedo, or whether you think it could be just a waste of time and money to get the football player Moises Caicedo. But Moises Caicedo is really a very wonderful. Me personally, as me, I like Moises Caicedo, because if you've watched him play for Brighton and Hove, he's excelled. He's excelled as a football player. As an individual, he's really been a brilliant one. He's been a very good one. Even when Brighton and Hove did not perform quite well, singling him out as a football player, he's always been a wonderful, and he's always been a perfect one. Which part of the world are you watching from? Get into the comment section and let us know, and also make your feelings and thoughts known in the comment section about the football player Moises Caicedo. And yet another wonderful star to talk about is Bitelo. So Bitelo will remember that he's a Grêmio football player, and also a young Brazilian superstar who has been admired by Arsenal for a bit of time, and he's always he's made a couple of news really. Bitelo making the news for quite a long period of time, I must say, and the Brazilian superstar is eager to make a move, with the club Arsenal agreeing to pay £9 million to Grêmio for the superstar Bitelo, who is a Brazilian international. And for some reason, Arsenal likes Brazilian superstars. But I think I know the reason. When you talk about football and talent, you have to talk about Brazil, because Arsenal has already, when you look at who is playing for Arsenal and is a Brazilian football player, you've got Martinelli, you've got Marquinhos, you've got Gabriel Magalhães, quite a big number of football players, Brazilian football players. So it won't take us by surprise really to see that the football star is going to end up at the club Arsenal, and £9 million is definitely quite affordable, and there is a possibility that he could come and get first team football. Anyway, let's hope things move on quite well. Watching from Zanzibar, Tanzania. Bro, I love your show. Thank you. Thank you, Ngazi. Ngazi, thank you. Thank you. Everybody loves my show. I also love you too. And I can see, man, we're going to KUDUS. That's Ivan. Anyway, everybody who likes my show, who's always here, watches my content, I must say I love you so much. And you're doing amazing. We can always have a chat right about here. Anyway, we've been talking about David Raya. We've also talked about Mohamed Kudus, and in the beat a bit again about Bitelo, and also Mohamed Kudus, as I told you before, and also there has been a chance for Arsenal to sign yet another amazing talent, and from Southampton, Romeo Lavia. But Romeo Lavia really, Liverpool has tried to sign him, also put in a couple of bids. £45 million was the last bid, and if Arsenal can match the £50 million, that's the club Southampton wants, then that would definitely be great, so they can have the football player. Arsenal can have the football player Romeo Lavia. Anyway, let's hope really things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal. As we definitely know, it's a wonderful period. It's a wonderful thing for the club Arsenal to get these football players, and now we hope that the coming season is going to be a brilliant one, in the fact that Arsenal ended up second in the Premier League. There is only one step to climb, and that step is to become the first in the Premier League. And Arsenal has already showed that it can, by beating Manchester City, playing on quite well in the pre-season games, and really all Arsenal has already kept in their cupboard two wonderful trophies, and Arsenal is now on the hunt for the third trophy just in a short period of time, and we hope the third trophy will be coming very soon from the club Arsenal. So let us know what you think in the comment section, and please do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host, Abu Carlos, as I'm right about here to bring to you the latest, as we've been talking about David Raya and also Mohamed Kudus. Let's see, we need to go into, as you already know, that always right about here. But if you're new here, I can tell you what we always do. We always have a chat, and we talk about transfers, we talk about anything, and we also have a media watch to see who's said what, who said what, and which blog, what has Sky Sports said. A couple of things really that are said. Let's see who is definitely saying what. We're going into media watch at this moment in time. So let's see. We need to get a reliable source and see what the sources are saying on the internet. So let's see how things really move. Oh, okay. Is there any latest of information right about here? Okay, still, let me see. Ooh, and I can see something from Metro. Metro is talking about David Raya's medical. Arsenal agree £30 million deal to sign Brentford goalkeeper David Raya, and that's from Metro, which is quite a good source. And let's see what Metro is saying in the media watch. So Metro has gone on and said the Gunners saw the £23 million opening bid for Raya rejected by Brentford earlier this month. So Brentford, who signed Dutch goalkeeper Mark Flecken from Freiburg for £11 million this summer, had demanded £40 million for David Raya, and that's what I was talking about before. And however, Fabrizio Romano is now reporting that Arsenal and Brentford have agreed a £30 million deal for the Spaniard, including potential add-ons. And that's what I was also not understanding, because in the first place they said they needed 40 million unnegotiable, and at this point in time we're looking at 30. So they go on and say Raya is due to undergo a medical with the club Arsenal this week and could be registered in time for their Premier League opener against Nottingham Forest on Saturday. That is gonna be quite great, and that's what I've been talking about. And Raya will now challenge Aaron Ramsdale for first choice spots on Arsenal. Do you think Raya is going to really get better than Aaron Ramsdale? Get into the comment section and let me know. You, as an Arsenal fan, whom would you pick? Would you pick David Raya or Aaron Ramsdale? Arsenal should not sell Turner to any rival club, and that's Aladukan. David Turner is going to Nottingham Forest. So still at seeing what in the media watch still, we can see Metro saying that's what it feels like. If we don't feel like this, we're not going to get the best out of each player. So we better feel like this and make sure we all feel like this May 1st. And who's that? The competition here always exists, whoever it is. That's what those were words from Arteta. Yeah, so Arteta made it clear nobody's bigger than the club, and the club is not going to be relying 100% on any football player. Any football player is liable to being substituted. That's what he definitely was meaning in there. That's why the club Arsenal is getting more football players. Quite amazing. Happy times for the club Arsenal. Happy times, happy days for Arsenal Football Club. Let us know what you definitely think in the comment section. Let us see if there is yet another wonderful story in the media watch. As you definitely know that we always have a bit of so Gary Neville really said Gary Neville, there was something about Gary Neville last time said Arsenal just had a good season and that was a one-off, and it's not gonna have that good season again. And really one of the reasons as to why I like Gary Neville is he's sometimes he gets truthful, really, despite the fact that he supports Manchester United, he's played for Manchester United. Sometimes he comes out and really says the truth the way it is. So he came out recently and said he will take back his statement once Arsenal plays Manchester City and beats Manchester City, and when he sees how Manchester City will play and how Arsenal will play in that game, and the Community Shield, because Manchester City badly wanted that win and Arsenal wanted that win. And what happened? The former football legend, really former football player Gary Neville, after watching this game, he said he thinks Arsenal might, actually not might, he said Arsenal is going to compete for the title again, and there is a big possibility that Arsenal is going to win the Premier League title. Those were words from Gary Neville from Manchester United. Anyway, Talk Sports are also talking about £30 million agreement with the club Brentford about David Raya, who is going to be part of the club Arsenal any minute from now. The Sun, which is also a reliable source, talking, I think, Arsenal transfer news. Ghana's reached £30 million for David Raya agreement, and also talking about Florin Barogan, and talking about Laporte. What's they saying about Laporte? They've also talked about. Anyway, let's hope really things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as we definitely have been talking about the wonderful move for the club. Wonderful moves for the club Arsenal. Trying to sign a few football players, and we hope that Arsenal is going to sign these football players. Already I was reading something, some people saying that Arsenal could be signing more than 3 football players. So let's hope it happens that way. But Mikel Arteta likes working with a limited number of squad. But let's hope he can sign more football players. That only brings in quite a bit of more options. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe. Ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host, number one host, Abu Kals. I'm right about here to bring to you the latest every other day. I'm always here, as we definitely can always have a chat in the comment section and see how things definitely go. So let me see what else can we talk about. We've talked about almost everything, and at this moment in time we've talked about David Raya, talked about Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus, before, he was heavily linked up. Anyway, talking about Mohamed Kudus, the reality is, though Arsenal want Mohamed Kudus, still Arsenal are not the favourites in the Mohamed Kudus transfer. But Arsenal is trying to get the football player. Still, Chelsea are still the favourites. Chelsea want to sign him. Chelsea throwing money everywhere, and sometimes I really question the Chelsea's transfer business, because they went all over the world and bought all these young football players, and they bring in a new manager, Mauricio Pochettino, and says this is not necessary. You've had the worst season. They went all over. They signed. They made massive hijacks, including Arsenal's top target of January transfer window, Mikhail Mudryk, signed him for a fee that is in the region of £100 million, and still, with all that big number of squad, they still failed to make it in top 4. That was definitely mad. That was crazy. That was mad. So despite the fact that all of that was happening, the club Arsenal did not give up on the football player, really, Mohamed Kudus, despite the fact that Chelsea is heavily linked with him, and Chelsea has gone on and had a few words with the football player. But also, Brighton and Hove came out recently and said they need Mohamed Kudus, and Brighton and Hove seems to be very, very, very excited and also dedicated to sign Mohamed Kudus. But Arsenal is still in this. Arsenal still has a bit of chance to sign the football player Mohamed Kudus. Otherwise, let us know what you definitely think in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host, Abu Kals, as I'm right about here to bring to you the latest. So with the David Raya deal, former, now we can call him former Brentford goalkeeper, that is a deal that is done, sealed and confirmed for the club. Arsenal is going to be unveiling the football goalkeeper David Raya any minute, any second from now. So keep around, stick around, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell, so that if he officially signs, you can get this information right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host, Abu Kals, as I'm here to bring to you the latest straight as it comes in. So I think that's what I had for you today. Let's meet same time tomorrow, or possibly if there is any breaking news, I'll definitely be coming live. Thank you and goodbye for now.